All right, so we're going to look at some symbols that we see in our life. Now, we've just gone through lockdown, and I've noticed some symbols that have been around that normally we don't see. So I might have noticed there's been some crosses on the ground near the shops.
Yeah, that's so everyone knows where to wait.
So people know where to wait. So I'm going to draw some symbols like that. What's another symbol that you've seen, Beatrix?
I seen a stay away symbol.
Yep. So maybe you have like...
There's like that, and then stay away.
Yep. Maybe there's symbols like this.
Yeah, there's symbols like that.
Yep. What about arrows? Have you seen the arrows to mean stay apart? Yep.
Oh, and I also saw arrows in the shop.
Yes, there's some arrows on the shops. What else have you seen, Neve?
I've seen little circles that say 5 meters away.
Okay.
That's what I was meaning.
Okay, so maybe you could... Yeah, okay, so maybe you could draw some circles. What about when you were doing your online check-ins with Miss Alfredson? What sort of symbols were on the screen? Yep, Ruben?
The round bit was green on one side and blue on the other.
Yep. For...
The wheat bit's second.
Ah, the WebEx. Yeah, so there might have been a symbol... that it was a circle sort of like this, wasn't it? And one side was green and one side was blue. Yeah. So you could colour in one, you could look at one side. What other symbol, Lottie?
The mystery 3 dots.
The mystery 3 dots that you have when you click on Seesaw. Great, that's a great one. You could do a pattern of those. What's another one, yeah?
A ninja symbol.
The ninja symbol. I don't know how that one is. You might have to draw that in your sketchbook, Tom.
The one on WebEx, you can see everyone.
Oh, the grid. So you might want to draw a grid with the screen like this, and you could draw just the outline of little people in each one. Or maybe just dots for symbols. You could draw the little shoulder lines maybe. That's a great one to invent a symbol around what it's like to video conference. What did you have to make sure was pushed on the WebEx before class so that you couldn't be heard and all your background noise? Neve?
A speaker symbol?
Yeah, remember they had the microphone like this in the circle? And then the line through it that sort of means mute, doesn't it? Yeah. Ada?
When we were texting messages, there was this flag thing that had Aboriginal flags and white people flags.
Okay, so maybe you might have some flags on there. So the Aboriginal flag looks like that. Yeah, so maybe you could do some flag type symbols or symbols that are inspired by flags. Yes, Ruben?
The flag outside the school.
Yeah, you could do some flags like that. So we have the Australian flag has the cross up in the corner, and then we have the stars. You can draw. I think there's 5 on it. Yeah. So you can have a play around with that, or you might just want to take the stars from that idea and make a pattern and then do some crosses as well. And that could be your idea. So what we're going to do, once we've got a whole page of ideas in our sketchbook, is I'm going to give you a piece of foam, and this, I've put a piece of masking tape with your name and grade on the back so we know whose it is, because we're going to print with them next week. Now what I want you to do is make a pattern with some of these. So you've got to push in. Can you see that I'm pushing my pencil in? And it's like I'm carving. I don't want to push so hard that I'm going to make a hole through to the other side, but I want to push in around. So I'm going to try and do Ruben's WebEx symbol here. It's a bit tricky to control. I'm going to do some of the arrows. I think that could look cool. And then we're going to do I'm going to do some dots, like Lottie's little waiting 3 magic dots. And then I might do some things to represent stars down here. So now I've got this cool, maybe I'll put some more dots here, repeat it. Okay, so now I've got this cool thing on my pattern ready for next week to print, and I'll just show you what that's going to look like. So I've got some paint here, and I've got a roller that's called a brayer, and I've got a piece of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the ink and I'm going to roll it onto, oh, I put a bit too much ink on there. I'm going to roll it onto my print. Then, let's put this back out of the way. So I've got mine with paint on it. And then I'm going to put a piece of paper over the top. And I'm going to smooth it, carefully not to move the paper. I'm going to smooth it with my hand. And everywhere that you have drawn into should stay white, like the paper, and everywhere else should be black. So let's peel to reveal. Ooh, I think I put a bit too much paint. Let me do another print. Don't you hate it when you try to do something to show someone and it worked before, and then when you go to do it, it doesn't work? Ooh, that's a better one. Can you see it, the arrow and the WebEx symbol and the dots and the stars? Cool. So that's called printmaking. So today we're going to work on our designs, and we're going to use a pencil to scratch the design like carving, like the Aboriginal people of Wurundjeri did traditionally in this area. So we are going to scratch and into that plate, and then we're going to print with it next week. So I'm going to give you your sketchbooks. You're going to fill it with a page of ideas, and then I'll come around and give you those. Hello, Shiv.